What it do? What it do? It's your boy Shan up talking about the frequency today. Frequency. Uh, Everybody on Earth is on a frequency. You know, the way you act, what you believe, what you think is your frequency that you're on. That's the signal you sending out to the universe. So it's what the energy you getting back, your frequency. On Earth, people's frequency is on the most basic things. Survival, how you gonna eat, how you gonna get this, you know, some kind of materialistic thing you want that you chasing after. Just the most basic way of thinking is really how people think. Survival. There's higher frequencies where people don't think about their survival at all. They only think about what makes everything work. And if this is how everything works, then what can I do to make it work even more efficiently? And when they say make it work, they mean make anything work. How do I make my life plan work? How do I make my career work? How do I make my family work? And however you handling these things and the things you believe, that's the frequency that you're on. So, in ancient times, people were definitely on a higher frequency. And on higher frequencies, people don't think about crime and murder and things like that. Because on a higher frequency, you only see what can make it better. So to be doing crimes and murder and all that, that's a very low frequency. So the ancient never wanted to lower the frequency. And this is what they mean when they say we're all on the same accord. We're all on the same mind frame, but we're also on the same frequency. So Earth is on a frequency, and every continent has a frequency. That's why all the healing stuff is in Africa, a high frequency. And they be trying to make you never want to go there because that's your real frequency. That's where your energy is at its highest. That's where you're doing everything most efficient. That's where you did all those great things. So speaking on frequency, I feel like when they were on a high frequency, they knew when somebody else was falling down to a lower frequency. Because if millions of people are on a high frequency or on a high chakra, on a high mindset level, as soon as a group of people big enough get together and lower their frequency, then the main frequency is gonna feel that. And that they're gonna say, man, somebody fucking with the frequency. You know what I mean? And the people they're gonna go see what about that and handle that and get the frequency back up where it's supposed to be. So in ancient times, if there was any kind of confusion or battle or war, it was because some group of people lowered the frequency, whether it was by they started doing cannibalism or practicing magic that was negative energy and not positive energy. Well, then when they got in a group big enough and they did that to where the other people's energy can feel their energy dropping, then the higher energy people went and handled that. So so you could say that the higher energy people were always in the right when they handled that because they needed to get the frequency where it needed to be so all of the people wouldn't get barbaric and come to a lower frequency. And that's where people are today. We were on a high frequency in the world, and now the frequency is so low that all you see is that low frequency shit, that first chakra shit, the mundane chakra. That's all you see is that kind of shit, that low frequency. And it's all about frequency waves. And they say the government uses ELF waves, extra low frequency waves. That's what come out your radio, your cell phone, like all the shit, the TV, and when we on Facebook and on the phones, that radiation is of the highest power, making your frequency be on like elf waves, the lowest frequency waves you could be on. So just imagine today how you look at the world, how all this crime and people don't even care to just go steal from somebody else. But on the highest frequency, you can't even be thinking about that because you're only thinking about what is going to make this system I'm a part of better. And doing things like that don't make it better. That's how you know. So when you look at the pyramids and you be wondering like how these people did that, man, how these people did these great things. You know what I'm saying? And some people know that black people went to other planets and there's pyramids on every planet. You know, you say, how did black people do this? Well, that's how they did it. They did it on a high frequency. So for black people to do anything, that means all black people. It can't be no little small group. You know, because it's the little small groups that's gonna bring, remember, that high energy down, that high frequency. So we all got to be on the same frequency, all got to be on a higher thought process, or there can be no change. There can only be change really in frequency, and that's why they don't want black people in Africa, because Africa is the highest frequency continent, and that's what frequency we used to be on. That's how we did all the great things. That's how we knew magic. That's how we could do powerful things. And this is also how I know magic is not really some little scary shit like they put in the movies, or say some satanic shit. Magic is really somebody being a scientist and realizes everything going on frequency waves, and all a human is a lot of different frequency waves. Then all the human has to do is level himself with the frequency waves around him in nature. Like whatever Earth's highest frequency is, if you can get your frequency on that, then everything in life would change. That would be the change because on that frequency is going down. So even when black people in America say, man, how can them African people walk with grown ass lions and be walking with the motherfuckers like it's they pets and shit, and eagles landing on their shoulders and shit, wild eagles and shit. The reason why the animals can now interact with the human like that, because the human's frequency is now on the frequency of the earth, Mother Nature, that high frequency that allows all that kind of stuff to happen because the animals are on that frequency. So as soon as you're on that frequency, like you see the black woman laying amongst all those lions in Africa, you could do that too. You know what I'm saying? If we were on the right frequency, the black man could be going just chilling with silverback gorillas like we homies. But we can't do it now because America put our frequency waves on an extra low frequency. That's what we thinking on, that's what we feeling on, that's what we loving on, that's what we killing on, that's what we fucking on, that's what we jamming on. Damn, that's what we eating on, very low frequency. We eating flesh, dead flesh of animals. Well, that's going to lower your frequency, and that's cannibalism. And that's why black people had to go check cannibalism the first time it happened on the earth way back in those ancient days, because that cannibalism made the high frequency people be like, hold on, man, something happening to us. And see, when those black people ate the flesh of the animal, whether they cooked it, I don't give a fuck what they done. Once you kill an animal and sitting there dead, nigga, that's dead flesh. So once you eat the dead flesh, the high frequency will feel that, and it would know that you have now poisoned yourself, made yourself sick. When you did that, you could have lived to be 200 or some shit, but soon as you did that, like, you fucked yourself, you know what I'm saying? And the higher frequency people was like, we gotta go handle this shit before it fuck everybody, you know what I'm saying? And they was able to get shit under control. Like, that. But now that the government and the white people are in control, you stuck on the frequency because you eating it, and you feel like it's all you got to eat. Not only that, white people that made you to believe that you have to eat dead flesh to have protein. When a silverback gorilla only eats vegetation, and he got more protein than your punk ass, and he will fuck you up. So I don't see why people believe that. They be saying meat for protein when the Bible says the meat of the fruit will be food for you. The meat of the fruit, like fruits and vegetables. But if you're dealing with flesh, you're dealing with, that's dead food, that dead flesh, dead stuff. So we gotta realize this whole thing is happening because of frequency. And once we get that under control, we can change things. This is your boy Shin Up. I got to ride out. Wish I could stay longer. I'm about to drop some more videos. It's going down. So, what frequency are you on? The mundane chakra, the higher chakra? Are you on the heart chakra? Are you on the throat chakra? Are you on that infinite mind God chakra? Like, what process of thinking are you a part of? And if you look in the mirror and be truthful with yourself, you realize what you think and the things you look at and like and jam, that's all very low frequency. When black people are talking about killing other black people, you can't think that on the highest frequency because you're only thinking, what can we do to make this system better? Shanna out.